Coming up in the second episode of the Bigger Than Running podcast. Number one, we're going to answer the question, what makes somebody a real runner? The second section, I want to recommend 4 videos that you should watch on YouTube. Number 1, Ben and Meg go out to Tokyo. Kofuzi gets a toy cat for his daughter. Number 3, Cole running smashes London Marathon. Number 4, Jason's running a channel I want you to check out. We're also going to highlight the Sunto Race S, and I'm going to talk to you about Nike's Streak Fly 2. Let's get to it. I have just pressed record on the second episode of the Bigger Than Running podcast. I'm loving it. Now, out of transparency, let me just keep it real with you and let me tell you what happened. I was already set for episode 2. I had already filmed it. I had already edited it. It's already uploaded. It was ready to go, scheduled for release on Sunday, 18th of May. Until I saw the response that the first episode got. I went, no. We're going to have to redo this because I wanted to start with how I've been blown away by the response that I've got through your shares of the link on Instagram, your comments on the YouTube video, your direct messages to me saying you're going to lock in, you've subscribed to the podcast. It genuinely means a lot. And it is way past what I was expecting. Now, let me keep it real too. Don't get me wrong. I was expecting some kind of traction simply because I have amassed an audience already. There are people that watch the YouTube channel. If I upload the podcast on the YouTube, some people are going to watch it, right? I had promoted it on my Instagram. I expected a few people to then get on board and start listening to it. What has actually transpired and happened has exceeded my expectations completely. And one thing I want to do for this podcast, 2 things. It's gonna be a place where running meets positivity and give you a glimpse of happiness outside of what's happening in your world. But more importantly, authenticity. And this is an example of that. I was mind blown by the messages I've received. And I want to say thank you. The other thing I promised on the first episode was how we're going to evolve this podcast. We're going to be doing certain things to enhance, improve, mature, and evolve the podcast. So I've come up with a few things, 3 things. Now, this first thing I think is a genius idea until somebody comments, that podcast already does that, mate. Get back in your box. Shut up. Well, let me tell you about it. So I've decided I'm going to structure the episode similar to a workout when you're running. The first part of the podcast, this is genius, right, is your warm up, right? Those of you that warm up, I ain't even gonna lie to you. Some workouts, I just get into it. But if you're following a training plan, it tells you that there's a warm up, right? So that's your running workout. But in terms of the podcast, that's gonna be the intro. That's gonna be introducing myself because a whole lot of people on this planet don't know who the heck I am. So I'm gonna introduce myself and not take it for granted that I am known. Because in the grand scheme of things, in the podcast world, I'm definitely not, okay? Let's just be honest about that. Anyway, then we're going to tease and sort of give you an outline of what's coming up on the podcast, on the episode. That's the warm-up intro section. Then we're going to get into the actual workout, the run itself, which is the subject matter for that episode, which is that guest who's going to come on, whatever it is we're going to talk about. Then we're going to get to the cool down, which is my product corner. That is where I'm going to be highlighting products that I've received for review. I'm going to be highlighting accessories I have come across or something, a service that I would like my audience to know about. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing, mind you, for this episode, we're still in that warm-up section, right? The second thing we're going to introduce is this sponsor mimic. Now, my podcast is not sponsored. I don't have a sponsor yet. Let's be clear, yet. There'll come a day where man might be sponsored. I don't know. But you know that expression, fake it till you make it. Yeah. I'm going to be highlighting a brand. Now, There are some brands that don't need my help at all. They don't need my help. They don't know I exist. They're doing just fine. When it comes to the running shoes, brands like Nike, Adidas, Mizuno, Puma, Hoka, those guys are doing just fine. But for my sponsor mimic section of the podcast, I'm going to be highlighting some underdogs, okay? The sponsor I want to highlight, I'm calling it sponsor. We're practicing for when we make it. Don't worry about it. I'll tell you in a second, right? I'm going to be highlighting Sunto. Now, I couldn't believe I was speaking to a runner the other day and they didn't know who Sunto is, okay? Anyway, I'll get to it when I get to it. But that explains the one thing I'm going to be changing. Lastly, I'm also going to be highlighting a section, which I think is just fun, YouTube videos I've watched that I enjoyed or I learned a lot from. A YouTube video that gave me value. And that value is in three things. It either educated me, it either entertained me, or it inspired me. So I've got those lined up coming up on this episode too. But that kind of tells you all the things we're going to be talking about. Let's get to the main workout of this section. And it will start with an introduction. My name is Aubrey. I am an average runner and I'm simply trying to be less average by the day. And I'm good with being me. Genuinely, I am good with being me. That part of me being good with being who I am is the reason we're doing this episode. We're going to be talking about your worth as a runner. How do you know you are a real runner? How do you know? You need to stop questioning whether you're a real runner or not. How do you determine your self-worth as a runner? It is important that I talk about that because some of my audience, they feel they're not that serious of runners. They're not that real kind of runner, okay? And that's owing to two things. Their own self-doubt or their own measure of self-worth in the running space, or how other people have made them feel. And I'm one of those. So I'm not going to shy away from it. We're going to talk about it. So I'm going to start this section with a simple question. What makes someone a real runner? Okay? What makes that person a real runner? Whereas this one is not so much, okay? Now, I told you already, I could spin this to be quite toxic in terms of the experiences I have had, but I'm done with that, okay? So I'm going to try and spin this to be flippant, to make it a joy for you to listen to, and then reflect on it on your own and go, actually, you know what? This Aubrey guy is making a point. I need to start seeing myself as a real runner now, okay? So let's start here. Could it be the length of time you've been running, okay? Because surely you just can't go down to your sports shop, pick up a pair of running shoes, go out for a 5-minute jog, come back and start calling yourself a runner. Surely you need to have a track record. Surely you need to have been running for a while. Most runners I know been running since lockdown. This guy over here has just picked up a pair of running shoes, picked up a Garmin and thinks he's a runner. At what point, in terms of the duration, your experience in running, do you become a runner? A real runner, okay? Maybe it's your pace. You can't call yourself a runner if you go to the marathon and part of that, you're walking. That's not running. You're a walker, bro. Yeah? You can't call yourself a runner if you're running 5K and it takes you 50 minutes to an hour. Are you serious? Right? Now, I'm being provocative for a reason because trust me, these are things I have had said to me in the comments of my videos. I'm being serious, right? Maybe how many race events have you done? Because surely, if you're going to be a marathoner, you can't just be telling us you did it in lockdown. You must have done a race event, a proper full-on race event. You can't just tell us you're a runner and you don't even have a single medal. Look at this. If you're watching on YouTube, you see a man's got medals in the back over here for several races that I've done. Does that now make me a runner? Do I need to run official running events to make myself a runner? Lastly, and this, believe it or not, this also has come into question. What do you know about running? You know, the knowledge. You don't know if you don't know what heart rate zones are. You don't know what lactate threshold 1 is. Come on, bro. You don't know what mitochondria ligaments. I'm trying to just get all deep. But you get where I'm going with this, right? There are some people that have devoted themselves to the sport of running that have then started to dictate what a definition of a real runner is. Again, I am being flippant. I am being exaggerated. I am being provocative for a reason. But believe it or not, I've had these comments. I'm going to tell you 2 comments that I got on my YouTube channel that kind of made sure I addressed this as a point. At the time when I got it, it did get to be a little bit, but now it's just all comedy. Aubrey, bro, they are real runners that don't have the Adidas Pro 4. How the heck do you have it? This Evo SL is not made available to real, actual runners. Why do you have it? I got this question next. Now, I'll be fair. I get where this person is coming from with this question, but it's sheer comedy, right? Aubrey, are you actually ever gonna run a marathon properly? I'm like, hold on, bro. Hold on. So, what he meant, okay, for those of you that may not have the background or the context, I run and I film my runs and I share them as race vlogs on YouTube, okay? So part of that is running while holding a camera, right? Now, if you're running at full speed and you're focused on the time that you're gonna get at the finish line, faffing around with a camera, turning it round, recording, speaking to it, distracts you from doing that, okay? Secondly, normally, I try to get in with the crowd, okay? The crowd feeds me energy. I then shout, let's go. I shout, let's go like a million times, okay? Especially when you're running in a country, a continent that you don't live in, you don't have a name on your bib, and then someone says, Aubrey, oh my days. Honestly, there are parts in a London Marathon, Boston Marathon, Osaka Marathon. I stopped, I turned back, and I went to thank that person and said, you know what, man, just for acknowledging me, for seeing me, right? Obviously, that then cost me like 30 seconds to a minute of my marathon time. So when this person then goes, Aubrey, are you actually ever going to take this seriously and run properly, right? I understand the question. Genuinely, I do. But the answer is, that is my properly. Because I'll be honest with you. If I didn't do, I'm just going to be blunt. I might lose a little bit of credibility here. Fine, I'll take it. You might call me less of a real runner when you hear what I have to say here. I'll take it. But let me be blunt. If I wasn't filming, if I wasn't doing the race vlogs, if I wasn't doing this YouTube thing, I guarantee you I wouldn't enjoy this running thing as much as I do. If I didn't go to running events and I'm interacting with perfect strangers, a Japanese person in Osaka, or I'm talking to a Filipino guy in Osaka, I'm Malawian, based in the UK, and we're talking about running. If I didn't have that, yeah, facts, I'm not doing this thing for too long. Because marathons hurt, bro. Why am I putting myself through all of that? Marathons are painful. Any joy you can find during the marathon, doing a 5K run, hey, take it. And if this is what keeps me going, if this is what makes me happy, hey, man, I'm going to do it my way. So please do accept that that is my version of doing it properly. You know, there have been times where I have given it everything I've got. The first time I tasted pain is when I was trying to run my first ever sub 50-minute 10K at Worthing 10K. By the way, we're also going to touch on upcoming races at the end of this video. Stick around. This is going to be exciting. The upcoming race events that I'm doing, right? Anyway, that was painful. I thought that was painful until soon after I trained with a guy that became a friend. His name is Martin. He became my coach. And then Ben Felton, Ben is running, Cole Running Faith. They paced me to my first ever sub 50 10K. That was painful. It was pain. And then we go to Germany, Adidas Road to Records. I say, hey, Megan, I think I've got a 5K PB in me. Okay? I've got a 5K PB in me. What do you say you pace me to it? So she's like, okay, yeah, let's do it. Right? And if you go watch the Road to Records 5K PB attempt and you look at my face, you look at my body, that is painful. So what do you mean I have to put myself through that all the time when I run through marathons? What? I have found my way of doing this and I enjoy it. So I'm going to answer you and say, if you're talking about your version of properly, once in a while, I run that way. But that's not how I run. That's what I enjoy doing. It's not what I'm known for. Just enjoy it is my whole point. Running hurts. Any excuse and reason to enjoy it, I'm taking it. Okay? Anyway, back to if those are the questions in terms of criteria, what is my opinion on what makes a runner a real runner? Let me start here. The majority of the people that watch what I do wake up in the morning and they sort out their household. Some of them live alone. I get it. But it's a thing of getting ready in the morning, getting children ready, food, walking children to school, then going to work. The majority of the people I know don't have the luxury of saying, today we've got a workout that's going to be at the track from 9 o'clock and then maybe by 11 we'll be done. Go home for lunch, recover, then a recovery session or a gym session in the afternoon. And then we're going to do an easy run in the evening. That's not the audience I have over here. So these are people that are going to work full time. When they come back, they have to then make dinner. They then have to do bath time. They then have to put kids to bed. Or they come back home with work that they didn't finish in the day. At the end of the day, they are fatigued from just doing that. But they are heroes that before the day starts, they love running so much they find time to just put on their running shoes and go. Some utilize their lunch hour. They just go. Through the dedication of doing that, I don't care if you do that once a week, you're a runner. You are a runner. Now, I don't want to go as far as saying you are more than a runner than the elites. That wouldn't be true because those guys have placed their living on it. They've got the dedication, they've got the time, they've got the ability to make a living out of doing that. Fair enough. But I have a lot more respect. Me. Not everyone should. Me. I have a level of respect for single mothers, single fathers, parents, full-time workers that despite the limitations of the availability of time, they still find time to put on their running shoes and they go. Despite the limitation of limited funds, they find time to get running shoes, a running watch, and go. Me personally, I have a lot more respect for that person than somebody who might do this full time. So in my opinion, this might be overly simplistic, but it's true. Do you have a relationship with running? Do you find peace, your form of exercise? Do you just enjoy putting running shoes on and going? You're a runner. if you have made running a permanent fixture, that when you do have time to yourself, you're a runner, that you've made it known to your family members, to your friends, that this is what you enjoy doing, you're a runner. You don't need to run a certain time. You don't need to have been running 15 million years. You don't need to have medals. You don't need to have all the gear in the world. In fact, you don't need to be told you're a runner. I want to know how you feel about you running, because I'll be honest with you, there is more satisfaction in some of the running I do than what some people who do this professionally or at a very serious level have. Let me explain. Recently we had London Marathon. Now London Marathon, bro, was hot. It was one of the hottest London marathons we've had, right? I knew I was on track for a personal best at the marathon, at London Marathon, despite having run Boston the Monday before. I knew I was. And from my pacing, I was aiming for 31 minutes and just below for each 5K. I was on track for it. All my days, the weather had different plans. It knocked me for 6. I was done, right? I finished in 4 hours 34. My personal best is 4 hours 25, right? I went, hey, hold on, bro. Hold on a milligram. Wait, you've just run a marathon on Monday, 4:29, and you got this 4:34 on one of the hottest marathons. Come on, let's go, Aubrey, let's go, right? I know at least 5 runners, okay, that were so disappointed with their times at London Marathon Day. Now, I get it. They probably take this running thing way serious than I do, okay? Because I could be perceived. And if you told me I wasn't serious about running, I could somewhat believe you. So I understand that they had goals. I understand they've been working so hard and they were disappointed not to have attained or achieved those goals, right? It makes sense. But you know what, man? For purposes of your well-being and your mental health, between these two runners, I'm not going to lie to you, man. I prefer just looking at the good side of it. I ran a marathon. Are you kidding me? 3 years ago, that version of me is going, hey, let's go, Aubrey. He watched me run London Marathon after running Boston Marathon. Are you kidding me? Right? That's my perspective. And I would encourage a lot of runners to have that. Look at the context, the bigger picture. There was a conversation I was having with somebody on Instagram that said, Aubrey, mate, thank you for this video. I did a video on my YouTube channel on how toxic running can be. And he said, do you know what? I was so disappointed when I ran a half marathon time until I realized that my slowest half marathon recently is 20 minutes faster than my fastest half marathon a year ago, or whatever period he said. That is maturity. For me, that is the context. So for me, back to that question, how do you define yourself as a real runner? Look at the bigger picture. When I started, I used to run here and there. I did the couch to 5K. Now I run 5K just as a standard thing. It could be that actually, when you've got free time, you're thinking of a run, you know, just look at your life, where you're coming from, and just take it from me. You don't need super speedy runner over there to tell you whether you're a runner or not. Simple as that. You like running? Yeah. Do you run? Yeah. Even if you run walk? Yeah. Even if you haven't run an event? Yeah. Even if you don't have medals? Yeah. Even if you have all the gear in the world? Yeah. Hey. You're a runner, bro. You're a runner, sis. Do your thing. Do your thing. All right, let's carry on. I think I've landed my point, okay? The whole point here is when you're done listening to this podcast, I want you convinced that you're a runner. Let's get to the not sponsored section, okay? This is me faking it till I make it, okay? I'm going to be highlighting underdog brands, underdog products that runners don't always get shown. I was pretty surprised the other day. I was talking to a runner friend and they asked me, wait, mate, why are you wearing two watches, right? So I go, okay, well, this one's my Garmin. This is what I normally have. And this is a Sunto that I'm reviewing. Like, Sunto, what's that? So this section is going to be for answering questions like that. So at the end of the video, when I get to the product section, I will speak to you about the specifics of the watch itself, what I have found, why I'm using it. But this section of the podcast is just going to be highlighting underdog brands, services, or products. Okay. So let's start here. When you hear about running watches or sports watches, it's obvious. You're going to start with the Apple Watch. You're going to hear about the Garmin watch. You're going to hear about Coros. You're going to hear about Polar. You're going to hear about all sorts of smart watches. Sunto is another one of those. And the guys at Sunto gifted me this watch for purposes of review. So I'm going to speak about the details of the watch at the end of this podcast episode as to what I found, but I was pretty surprised. And so it inspired me to start talking about brands that are lesser known. So for this one, it's going to be the Sunto Race S, and I'm going to highlight the Sunto brand. Okay, that will be at the end. All right, so the next section is the YouTube section. See this as a book club. Recent books I've read, and therefore I recommend them to you guys, except about YouTube, simply because my most common entertainment is YouTube. I don't watch Netflix that much, Amazon Prime or Disney Plus. For me, I'm talking even in the shower or stuff, I'll put something on, either just listen to it in the background. YouTube is my thing. So YouTube video number 1, Jason's running. Now, Jason's running, you might not have heard of this guy, right? But he is the loveliest guy. And I simply love watching channels that are not super big channels because they have a grit to them. They have an authenticity to them that I really enjoy. This guy has 266 subscribers, I want to say. Anyway, he did a video where he recently ran Berlin half marathon. And he was aiming for a PB, right? And I want to say he was aiming for 155. 155, 1 hour, 55 minutes. And he got to the end and he's trying to get there. And I won't spoil it. Actually, you know what? Let me not say, because I want you to go watch it. Not only do I want you to go watch it, please subscribe to the guy's channel. Come on. Jason's Run, it's got 266 subscribers. In fact, I'm going to keep banging on about this Jason guy until we get him to about 500 subscribers. Expect to hear about Jason's running on every episode until we get this guy to 500 subscribers. Jason, I got your back, bro. Next, we need to run together. So this is why the end section of the podcast is going to be important. I'm going to highlight the running events I'm going to be doing and invite people, fellow YouTubers, to come and run with me. Anyway, let's move on. Next video. Ben is running out in Tokyo. Now, I'm going to be blunt. Ben, I hope you're not offended by me saying this. I don't watch your channel because of how fast you run. I respect how fast you run, but that's not what makes me a subscriber and a fanboy of Ben is Running. I love how authentic this guy is despite the number of subscribers he has. The guy is down to earth, but I've just grown to love him more because recently he started doing his stuff with his missus, right? The London Marathon series, a breath of fresh air. So he got taken onto a brand trip by ASICS out to Tokyo because ASICS are releasing 3 running shoes. Hopefully I get to review them. It'll be great. But to be honest, don't really care too much about that in that vlog. It was refreshing to see Ben and Meg together in Japan. Ben gets some ASICS gear. Meg got some too. Meg out here filming, interviewing, Meg doing some fashion things, and then they extended their trip, went to Fuji. Come on, man. This is the kind of stuff that makes running fun for me. Now, don't get me wrong. I love race vlogs. I like videos about heart rate zones, lactate threshold. I feel like I'm always making fun of lactate threshold 1. I love all of that. I do. But to me, there is more to running than just running. Anyway, you got to check this video out. The reason as well, I was super happy. And I messaged him right away on his WhatsApp. I went, hey, bro, I am so happy for you. And I am proud. Can you imagine dedicating your craft to a point where a brand takes you somewhere and says, we're releasing these shoes, we want you to be here. He's worked so hard, and getting to see him achieve what he has done, getting to see him achieve, I guess, his dreams, and doing that with the lady in his life, I'm so happy for him. There will be toxic people that will be in the comments going, oh, here he goes. Then he's going to give us a video and be all happy chappy saying, oh, yeah, you need to buy this just because you got a free press trip and all this. Shut up, right? Third video, the same trip, but the GOAT, Kofuzi, bro. Kofuzi. Man, he was also on that trip. Now that trip, if a bomb exploded at that venue, all of YouTube would have been wiped out when it comes to the running space. I'm telling you now, there was the running channel. I want to say there was Alex Felitti, Meta Endurance, the run testers. Come on. I wasn't there. I wasn't there. The ASICs, hey, no hard feelings, bro. ASICs, bro, no hard feelings. I wasn't there. Yeah, but get me there next time. It's cool. But I wasn't there. But what Kofuzi does perfectly, that no one else does the way Kofuzi does, is gave you the weekend video. He does, when there's major events, he does a runner's weekend. Anyway, he goes to this temple, and this temple has cats in it. I was thinking, oh, those guys are just selling these little cat toy things, right? But these cat toy things have got a lot of meaning behind them, that you either pledge, you take away this toy cat when you've achieved the goal that you pledged or that milestone that you've reached. You bring the toy cat back as a form of gratitude, right? So anyway, Kofuzi then takes one of these cats, but he's bringing it back for his daughter, that one day, when she travels to Japan, she will bring this cat back to that temple. Oh, man, he got me. Hey, Mike, bro, you got me on that one, bro. I was like, oh, man. And no one does vlogs like that. No one gets you in your feels. I'm like, all about a toy cat, bro. I'm about to start tearing up because I can imagine it. I can imagine little girl Kofuzi over here when she's old enough to get on her travels. And I can almost imagine, I could dream that maybe she's going to be a YouTuber. I don't know, Mike. I don't know, bro. I'm just romanticizing the idea that she will bring it and she will vlog it. She will come back to when her dad got this toy cat. I'm thinking, oh, man, he got me. All right, anyway. So first video, Jason's running. Second, Ben is running. The other one's Kofuzi. Now, I saved the best for last. I just love it when good things happen to good people. This guy is a good guy. Cole running. My days. I told you about London Marathon, how it was hot, yeah? How I was going in there aiming for like 2 hours, 10 minutes. I ended up getting 4 hours, 34, right? Cole running 2 hours and 16 minutes. By the way, if you're good at maths, 2 hours and 16 minutes is half my time. Now, listen to me. This boy has been working hard. Now, both as a runner and a YouTuber. Seeing him run London Marathon in 2 hours 16. Now, I'm going to be outright honest with you. I don't care what times people run at these marathons. I'm here for the experience, okay? I went to Osaka Marathon. Actually, the t-shirt I'm wearing right now is an Osaka Marathon t-shirt that I got at the expo. One day, I'll forget what time I did at Osaka, okay? I'll forget all about that. But I won't forget the fact that I experienced a culture that I've never experienced before. Was the first time going to a continent I had never visited before. Was the first time meeting a culture, a people that I was first of all insecure about in terms of, I'm going to stick out like a sore thumb. I'm a black guy in Japan. How's that going to go down, right? Honestly, the most loving and respectful people I've ever met in my life. That's what I'm going to remember, right? To me, Cole running 2 hours 16 is not about Cole running 2 hours 16. It is the man finally achieving something that he wanted. Now, I'm gonna look up the video now because I don't want to get it wrong in what he called it. Okay, I feel like he titled his London race vlog perfectly. He said, the title of the video is London Marathon 2025, the race that made my name. Now look, he has goals. He's achieved something in that. And he believes that that is the race that gets him where he wants to be. I fully respect that. But the grind this guy has done on his YouTube channel, the views on that video, my days, 88,000 views in 8 days, bro. You have to watch this race vlog. More importantly, please go over to the man's channel. Only after you've gone to Jason's running channel, though. All right, let's move on, man. I've talked enough. All right. We're getting to the end of the vlog very soon. Very soon. Not yet, very soon. So, upcoming races. As you're listening to this, I'm at Hackney Half Marathon 2025. I'm running that with Hoka. Now, it's going to be running the race event itself because I love running. I'm going to be out there just having a good time. I'm also going to be reviewing the Hoka Cielo X1 2.0. But it's always amazing just working with these brands in a collaborative way. Genuinely a pleasure. So obviously we're going to do a debrief on this podcast. I'm going to show you the race vlog, but also I'm going to do a review of Hoka's Cielo X1 2.0. Okay. So that's one. Second, June 8th. If you're in England, Worthing 10K is the only running event I would have done in 3 years in a row. The first time was me trying to break my sub 50 10K. I got 50 minutes and 4 seconds on my Garmin, 50 minutes, 1 second on my chip time. The second time I got it under sub 50. And so this time I'm going to be doing it at party pace. I'm inviting people to come run with me. We're going to aim for just under an hour. There is a guy on YouTube. His name is Sam. Light It Up is his YouTube channel. Gonna get him down there. Gonna get some more runners. Gonna get as many people to come run with us. Now, mind you, there will be pacers there that do an incredible job. But if you just want to run with us, have a good time at this running event, maybe chill out afterwards, I don't know. The fun thing about that is my son Josiah is running the mile in the morning before that. Okay, so I promise you that the first guest on my channel, I promise you now, will be my son Josiah when we're previewing that run and talking about Josiah because Josiah is Josiah, right? So that's going to be fun. Anyway, we talked of the 2 product corners. Let's talk about these very quickly. I recently published a review on my YouTube channel of Nike's Streak Fly 2. What is it? What does it do? What do people need to know about it? Excellent. Let's talk about it. It is amazing. I wear a 9.5 UK and a grown man shoe weighing in at 141, 142 grams. It is officially the lightest shoe I own. What is this shoe for? Actually, no, let's talk about the price. It's 164 pounds, 165 pounds here in the UK. I'm going to link it in the description if you want to get into it, but also I'm going to link at the end my review of the video because here I just want to spotlight it. This is a speed shoe. It's a fast shoe. Like the underside on the outsole, it says go fast. It's part of the Nike road racing series. It's the Streak Fly. Anything up to 5K for me, this is the shoe. You can stretch it to a 10K for the lighter build runners, but I'm a bigger guy. I'm only taking this to a 5K if I'm racing all out. Also, if I'm doing somewhere between 5, 6, 7K interval sessions, it is best for that. Now, this is a full PBAT Zoom X foam, and between that, it then sandwiches this carbon plate. There is the Nike Fly plate in there. It is amazing in terms of propulsion, but when you mix it in with that lightweight, I wanted to say this. I don't just want to talk really nicely about these shoes. Adidas have an equivalent. I want to say it's the Takumi Sen series. The Takumi Sen 10 didn't work for me. It didn't work for me. I highlighted it in one of the videos of 5 shoes that didn't work or something like that, okay? Instead, I run in the Pro 4, okay? But for a shorter distance, I find this is my number 1 most recommendable shoe if you are looking to just challenge yourself for pace, for speed, for intervals, as well as the shorter distances. Check it out. It's the Nike Streak Fly 2 at the end, as well as in the show notes. I will link my review of that, as well as a link to see if you want to buy it. Get it done, right? Okay. And I also talked about the Sunto. Now, the Sunto Race S, what is it? It is Sunto's, I guess, entry level, even though it packs a big kick, sports watch. Why this one? What makes this one special? The first thing is the price. I told you I run in the Garmin Forerunner 265. This is currently retailing at £329, whereas the Sunto is at $299. Whilst the Garmin charges quicker, it's not that much quicker, okay? I want to say from 0, when I charged my Garmin Forerunner 265, when it was getting to 100%, I want to say this was at 95, so it's not that much. In terms of the draining, I must say, again, Garmin is Garmin, bro. Garmin does their thing. But the battery life, it's not that far off. And so expect a detailed review of the Sunto Race S, where I'm actually demonstrating these things I'm talking to you about. But I just thought I would highlight it because I would like for you guys to be at least aware of some of these brands. Expect a detailed review. The other thing that I wanted to highlight that I've loved in the Sunto Race S, that is not even in the Garmin, when you go to start a workout, you can choose what it is you're doing. Now, this thing has a profile, so many profiles for what exercise you want to track. Walking, running, weight training, yoga, Pilates, cycling, hiking, trail running, basic or trail running in the mountain, pole swimming, mountain biking, treadmill. Let me just read the quirkier ones. It's got a triathlon mode, trekking, and then it's got the more section. It's just crazy. There's so many profiles, and it was really, really good to see. Now, some of those profiles, granted, I'm never going to use, but I just wanted to highlight that. Check it out. Actually, check it out. Do some research yourself that when you're looking for your next sports watch, don't be limited to your Garmin, your Apple, or your Coros. There are so many more, okay? That is the second episode. Much longer than I thought it would be, but hey, why not? Thank you very much for your support. It truly means a lot. And the next episode is going to be out on Wednesday, where I talk about the no doubting Thomas from Believe in the Run. It's quite an emotional episode, but it's important you give people their flowers whilst they're still here to smell them. Thank you for checking this one out.